Welcome to this training session for QQEvolution Document and Imaging. As you can see, I am on a client's record. We're going to go up top and click on their images. You'll notice the images open up separately from the rest of the program. The benefit of this is maybe you need to go look something up, maybe check an accord form on this client. I can minimize imaging out of the way, go look that information up, and come back here. Now, you will notice here in the screen, I have some images already here, and down at the bottom for the image that I have highlighted, it shows me all the information for that image. What type of file it is, the date it was added, the size, who added it, and what the original file's name was. So for whatever image you select, the information will display down here at the bottom. And over to the right, we have a preview screen for whatever image you have selected. So if you have multiple pages, you can look through them if you need to. And you could also put in the actual page number and it will jump right to it if you would like to do that. Now, let's go ahead up to the top to the left and let's go through our toolbar. First we have Add. This allows you to browse your computer and select an image and attach it here on this client. Next we have Delete. For whatever image you have highlighted, you can select Delete and you can permanently delete this image out of this section. Please remember, delete is permanent, so that's why you get a warning asking you, are you sure? You can edit the description, which simply means I can select an image, and if I want to change its description, I sure can do that. Next, we have Open File. Now what this does is for whatever file I have selected, I can open this up, and it will open the image in its native viewer. So as you can see, I just now opened this image up, which is actually a very small image, and it opens up in my Windows Picture and Fax Viewer. That's because the Windows program is my default viewer on my computer, and so that's why it's opening with it. So whatever you have as your default image viewer, there are lots of different programs out there, it will open with that. Let's go ahead and close that image. Next we have Export. What this allows you to do is to save a copy of an image out of the image section onto your computer. So I can select the image, click on Export. I can browse to wherever I'd like to save it. I can even change the name if I'd like, but it will export out and save it onto your computer as a TIFF file. Now, even though you saved an image out to your computer, we do not remove the original. So if you want this removed, you will have to do so yourself. We do not touch the original. Next, we have Twain Source. You will need to select the scanner the very first time you scan on a client. When you open this up, it will display any scanner hooked to this computer that is Twain compliant, has those drivers. You can select it and then the system knows your scanner. As again, you only need to do this the very first time you scan, then that system will keep a record of that. We have Scan. You have the ability to scan directly onto a client's record. When you do so, you can associate it or attach it to the client themselves, to a policy on the client, and we have a drop down if the client has multiples, or you can associate it with a claim on the client. Next we have Description. We give you a default description, but you're more than welcome to do your own, or you can select from your default list if you happen to have any. Here we have Show Scanner Interface. With this check marked, when you hit the scan button, your scanner's interface will appear, and you will need to set in it any of the items such as the resolution. If it's black and white or color, you will need to set those and then scan from that interface. Now you will notice if I check mark this, my selections to the right of black and white and DPI disappear. That is because you're setting that stuff up inside of your scanner's interface itself. Without this checked, you have the ability from here to check mark to scan black and white. We do recommend scanning everything in black and white when possible. Color is nice and it is needed sometimes, but generally black and white for most documents will do, and black and white seems to make a nice, good, tidy image for you. To the right of that, we have the DPI. You can set the resolution anywhere from 50 up to 600. I would recommend probably doing around 150, 100 to 150, 200, and doing black and white generally as a standard when you're scanning. If you're doing color, I would recommend doing, and if it's multiple pages, doing it something low. Then after that, we have a few more options of add each page as a separate file. Maybe you have a sheet feeder and you're scanning in 5 pages on this client, and they're actually all separate from each other. They're not the same document. I can check mark this, and the system will know to make them all separate. We also have Prompt to Scan More. This is for maybe if you're using a flatbed scanner. With this checked, after an image is scanned, the system tells you, hey, you need to insert your next image for scanning. A little reminder. Under this, we have Custom Memo. Here, you can create your own memo. The system does, whenever you add or delete an image, it does put an activity and memo in for you automatically, the one that we generate. Maybe you want to put your own in. You can do that. Say test memo. After I scan, you will find a memo in the memo section that says this. And then the one that system automatically generates will be in the activities. You can also set a reminder on an image you're scanning. If you choose to use a custom memo, the reminder will be attached to it. If you are not using a custom memo, it will be associated with the auto-generated memo that the system does. So you can create your own memo and set a reminder on scanned images. Then once done, you click scan and it will scan into the client's record. Next we have scan into. Maybe you have a document or image that you need to add into an existing file here. Click scan into. It will bring up the name of the existing file. You can change it if you like and scan, and then it will add it in as one file onto the client's record. Next we have merge. This allows you to combine images that are already existing on a client's record. Maybe I have a couple of images here that were actually meant to be one file and I did not do that and now I want to. I first select the image I want to merge into, and then I highlight the second one, select merge, and I can change the description, and once I merge it, it will be one combined file. Next we have merge into. What this is for is maybe I have a file or image stored on my computer that I need to add in here onto an existing file. So I select the file, merge into. It allows me to browse my computer and grab that file and merge it. Split. This allows me to take a multiple page document and split it apart. The only way it can't split is if it's a PDF or it's a secure file. So you will notice when looking at these files, we have these, if they're multi-pages, there's these little squares with the numbers. That's how I know how many pages is in a document. So this one has 2, this one has 6. So maybe I want to split out page 2. I can select the image, hit split. Here I can put in the number 2 and I can split it. As you see, maybe I have a 10-page document and I want to split out more than page 2. Maybe I want to do page 1 through 3, and then I want to do page 8 and page 10. I can do that. All right, you can type in the individual pages you want to have removed. Now, when you split a document, we do not touch the original. We split out the pages that you'd like into a new file. The original, though, is untouched. So if you have anything in there, if you wanted to remove it, you can delete it out yourself. We do not touch the original. Next up, we have hide thumbnails. Each of these little images on a file is considered a thumbnail. If you'd like to speed this section up a little bit, you can hide them and just have a generic icon show. If you want them back, you'll see the button now change to show, and it brings the images back. We have hide preview. So when an image is selected, a preview of it shows over to the right. Maybe I do not want to see this preview and I want to have my images go across the whole section of image. I can click on hide, and now it's shuffled my images, so now it's going to take up the full screen. I can have it appear back by click on show. We have change view. Right now I am set on extra large icons. I can move this slider. As you see, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller until I go down to detailed view. Detailed view allows you to have all the information pertaining to an image right next to it instead of at the bottom. Let's go ahead and I'll change this back to extra large icons, and you'll notice the description is now back down at the bottom. You know, the original file name, who attached it, the date it was attached, what type of file it was. So you have different views to choose from. Sort by, we have 2 sort bys. Currently we have description, which will do it in alphabetical order by the description, and we have the date it was added. Next, we have the Attach Mercury PDFs button. This pertains to people doing downloads from Mercury, so we're going to go by that. We have print, email, fax. As you know, throughout the system, we have this in different areas, and now you can do it directly from here in the image section as well. Return to QQEvolution shuts the imaging on this client and takes you back to the other part of the record. And we have the standard help button. Now, another great feature of this imaging is drag and drop. So what I'm going to do is I have the evolution open underneath here, and I'm going to minimize it out of the way. So now let's drag and drop. I can go ahead and grab something that's stored here, grab it, drag it, and drop it into the image section on the client. I again have the ability to attach it to either client or the policy or a claim. It grabs a hold of the description of the file itself. You can change it if you'd like, and you can also set the memos and reminders. You click on add, and now it's going to add that image here. Over on the lower right, there was a little upload icon that tells me how much and how long our things are uploading in the image section. And now it's been added right here. When I'm dragging and dropping, I can do a whole folder if I like. What happens is the system discards the folder itself, and it will drag and drop in any image type files that are inside the folder. So I can go ahead and drag this over. When I drop it, this box opens up with the standard stuff you've already seen of how to associate it. Now the one new item here is automatically generate descriptions for the remaining 5 items. When I have this check marked, what will happen is all the items that are inside this folder will automatically be dropped in here and automatically put the file's existing name in there on it. Okay, so it'll take the whole thing, drop it in, leave the file's existing name. If I do not check mark this, what it will do is as each file is dropping in, and I'll show you, I'll click add. Here's my first one. I'll click add. Does the second one, and now it gives me the name of the second one. So this allows me to change the name on each file if I'd like. I can do a custom memo and reminder for each individual file if I'd like. If not, I can check mark this and have everything added at once, and I have the ability to add one memo and one reminder for all those images. When doing drag and drop, you can do up to 50 files at one time. That's quite a few images that you can drag over and drop at one time. Now, a couple other things here in the document and imaging is we have a filter. Here, this allows you to filter the images that you're viewing. You could have a client that has quite a few images and you're looking for something in particular, maybe pertaining to one policy. You can do that. I can check what I'd like to have. Like maybe I only want to look at images pertaining to the client themselves. I can uncheck mark the policies, and as you notice, an image disappeared over here because now I'm only looking at images pertaining to the client. Or maybe I just want to see the images pertaining to a policy itself, and I can even narrow it down to one policy if I'd like. So as you see, as I've removed the client check mark, this narrowed down again to 2 images. To the right here, we do have a search, and it is a smart search, meaning it will search as you type. It also goes by whatever you have selected here in the filters. So right now, all policies are selected, so as I type, it searches based on all the policies. Let's go ahead back over here, and I'm going to also check mark clients and have the client images reappear. Now when I type my search, you see it starts eliminating it based on the letters I'm selecting. So I have typed in here HO, and now it's found me any images that have HO as any part of the description. The size for files as you scan in or attach in or drag and drop over, the file sizes you can do are you can have up to 6 megabytes for PDFs. You can have up to 2 megabytes for TIFF files. You can have up to 1 megabyte for JPEG and any other type of file like a doc or a GIF, etc. So up to 6 megs for PDFs, up to 2 megs for TIFFs, and up to 1 meg for JPEG and any other file type. We do have a brand new QQEvolution package available, and it is the Platinum package. The feature that this Platinum package has is it allows you to have up to 12 megabyte individual files here in the imaging. So if you decide to get the Platinum package, each one of your images can be up to 12 megabytes, and the standard limits do not apply. One last item to show is batch scanning. So we're going to return to QQEvolution. I'm going to go out to the dashboard. The batch scanning is available here on the dashboard itself or from the search screen. Now as it opens up, you will notice up top here in the toolbar, you have basically all the same options you've already seen. And underneath here, we have unattached images. This means since they're unattached that they are not on a client's record at all yet, and these images are still stored on the local computer. So this means only the user that attached these on their computer can these images be seen right now. Once they get attached in on client record, of course, then everybody can access them. What batch scanning is good for is, let's say you have a bunch of documents or images you need to get in on multiple clients' records. You can go ahead and add or scan or drag and drop these images and documents into here and then attach each one to the individual client record. In order to do so, you would select the image. Here is the one new button, Attach Selected. What this will allow me to do is I can search for my client and any matches come up here. Now, you have the same option available here as you do when you're on the actual client's record. You can attach an image to the client itself, or you can bounce it down to a policy. And if they have any claims, they will also appear and you can attach it to the claim itself. So you can do it to the client itself, an individual policy, or an individual claim if you'd like. And I can just go ahead and hit select. And now it attached that file into that client's record. So here you can take a bunch of documents and you can attach them onto the individual client's records. And this concludes the training for the QQEvolution document and imaging.